Since I figured Big Room Kick itself was a topic for a video of its own, I made this kick in a separate video, which is actually our previous one. This is what we made in that video. I added the plugin Tones or Tone Z because it has got some good big roomish presets to start off from. Shout out to TechToneX for suggesting me this plugin. Thanks, buddy. With that preset selected, I drew an initial idea for the melody. I felt like I had to change the notes of the sub kick to this. I wanted a presence for the rough draft of the brass sound. In a rush to get the idea down, I duplicated the Tone Z plugin and drew the A note, which is the key of the song, in each measure. I set an envelope on the pitch to have a pitch drop on that sound. I tried modifying the melody. I duplicated the plugin to start layering, added a bus into which I added simple side and directed the output of all those layers to that new bus. It's only after that I went back to work on the sounds of the duplicate tracks. Then I turned off the inbuilt reverb and delay in all of those plugins and added a reverb bus, which I then sidechained to the lead bus for a cleaner mix like I demonstrated in my sidechain video. I decided to beef up the lead by adding Camel Crusher. I felt the presence of some annoying frequencies in there, so I added DDR Nova to do a bit of cleaning. Since I dialed up all the parameters in Cashmere plugin to get the proper punch of the kick, I noticed that our kick bus started clipping. Since I don't want to reduce any tape saturation, pressure or compression provided by the plugin, I reduced the signal being fed into the plugin. Then I added a clipper to make sure it doesn't produce any undesired clipping. Finally, I adjusted the volume sliders of the kick bus and the tracks being fed into that bus. Then I added BBC Symphony Orchestra by Spitfire Audio and chose trombones with Staccatissimo and drew the key of the song across multiple octaves. Duplicated that plugin several times and chose all the different brass instruments to play the same notes and directed all those tracks to a bus which I named Brass. And these are the effects that I added later into that bus. But I ended up deleting these two tracks as they were making the brass tabs a bit mellow. Then I arranged it to make our drop. I also introduced some change in the sub kick. I also changed the brass tabs to follow that sub. I freeze these brass tracks and reverse one of the tabs to get this. I added T-Force Alpha to make a riser that follows the lead. Added one more tone Z to make this layer of the lead. I moved the drop to the right to make space for the build-up and added this build-up drums. While we are at it, these are the drums I used in the drop. Also, these are the sounds that I have used in the drop. I experimented the build-up with Tone Z, but since I wanted a smoother pitching up before the drop, I ended up using T-Force Alpha for the chords. On top of that, we have this plug with tones. We will have to freeze the synth for a smooth playback. By the way, I noticed that the tones plugin reverts back to the init patch whenever we unfreeze it, regardless of any preset that we had selected before freezing it. Keep that in mind, okay? And when it gets really intense, it goes like this. It is actually made to follow and support these elements that I brought from the lead. Together, they sound like this. Back to the chords made by T-Force Alpha. There is also a sub bass with T-Force, a riser sample, and finally a pre-drop vocal. Everybody know that I kill it. That is it. I hope you found this video useful. If you did, then leave a like. This is ADK, hoping to see you next time. Stay safe, stay healthy, see you later.